go find my friends and see if I can test this out. Should be streaming right now. Okay, sounds like it's working. Stream manager. All right, you guys got to be my my stream backup.
Like we're gonna tell you if it's live.
Yeah. Tell me if I'm 5x5 with audio and video. See if you can pull up. I should be live on Twitch and YouTube right now. I should have the dual stream going.
Start with Twitch. My connection is
a little shoddy. Okay, I'm just doing the old test message and let's see, uptime. Let's see if my bot is working. Haven't streamed in a while actually. Yep, I've been live for 5 minutes, 12 seconds, and I can see my Twitch and YouTube test message coming up on my screen here. So I was kind of surprised that it seems like microphones, everything. I hit live and it just worked, which is a good sign. I've got 5G. I've got the mobile hotspot going. Audio stream. You said you could see the video. That might just be your connection, because it seems I was listening to it a bit ago, and it seems I can see your message went through.
You have Verizon?
Yeah.
I guess I should have brought all my. They probably would have honestly thought it was like a bomb if I tried to bring my whole.
All of your stuff, yeah. Okay, but yeah, this is pretty slick. The solar panel.
Dude, it's great.
Solar panel's
You're on
exposed.
one battery though with that?
Well, one battery's plugged into the other, and then that's all going in here. I can plug it into the microphones. Also have USB-C, and then this one I can swap.
Cool. You're in.
So yeah, we got a lot of Kerbal on Twitch.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
But yeah, we are here at the Rocket Garden at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Let me see if I can flip the camera around. Here we go.
We gotta get in the head here. Wigwam.
Yeah, it's in the nose cone or the capsule. So yeah, we are here.
Nice.
We watched the Artemis 2 launch a couple days ago. That was pretty cool. And this one I think just has the 2 cameras. Yeah, I have another on my other phone. I have the I flipped through to like a wide angle camera also. It cycles through 3 different ones. Yeah, so but I was just trying to focus
Tell me about this.
on the golf course. Yeah.
Just cause.
Hey, really, if you want to include fireworks, as a rocket.
Stone. What is this here? A Jupiter, a Juno? I think both of that's a Delta. That's an early Delta. First U.S. orbital mighty F1 engine. Of these on the Saturn V. The Apollo capsule into Earth orbit. They needed an extra 2 stages to get to the moon, and that's the first stage of that used this engine here.
5 of these?
5 of those, yeah. So.
I think these are. I mean, these are replicas, obviously.
Yeah, but they are to scale. So.
Well, the real engine part is there. That's just like the exhaust, right?
This here is part of the gas turbine, I believe, that kind of rings around. I'm not sure exactly where that goes. I know that there are these coolant lines going down further up on the nozzle.
Car engine on steroids.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot of horsepower if you wanted to kind of measure it that way. I don't remember the exact rate. Anakin, do you remember the exact, not exact, but do you remember the thrust that these put out? The F1? I mean, it's somewhere on the order of millions of pounds. But yeah, so this is the turbine, the turbo pump. So this would, I guess, and this was a Kerolox engine, so it's pulling in kerosene and liquid oxygen. And one is the type of kerosene, and it would come in through here, and I don't know exactly which turbine went where, but that would flow down through. The power of Apollo, yeah. So that's the turbo pump exhaust manifold. So that would come back around and be, well, I think it would, it was full flow, right? It would recycle the exhaust back into the combustion chamber. It wouldn't just dump it out the side like the Merlin on Falcon 9. Yeah, the plumbing. And you can see here the actuators for the gimbal. So this one would actually steer. This whole thing would rotate to steer the rocket. Yeah.
Like based on.
Yeah, basically, if the rocket is going, well, there's computers that are also done. I guess if the engine nozzles kind of bend at an angle.
Allegedly.
All these computers we have now to design this.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So, four of the shuttle main engines, the RS-25s, which are a Hydrolox engine, not quite as big as this, but they have four of them, and they're efficient both on the surface level and up in the vacuum. Like I said, those ones can go all the way up into orbit, basically, and still have good performance. And that is a Delta II. Those were launching up until about 2018, 2019.
What would they have on these?
These launched, I think the Opportunity and Spirit rovers on Mars were launched by these, I'm pretty sure.
No way.
Yep.
Was the
Yeah.
Curiosity Atlas?
Yeah, Curiosity and Perseverance were both on Atlas V.
So they can only launch these if their destination
Was
Mars.
Perseverance on Atlas or was it on?
Yeah, it was Atlas V.
Why did I feel like it was SpaceX or something?
What was your question?
That if they were targeting Mars, they can only go. You said like one specific window.
Yeah,
every
there's
2
a launch
years
window every 2 years to go to Mars, and it's about a few weeks to a month.
because of specific like points in space that Earth and Mars were.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm hoping when you guys are here next to me that my microphone is picking up your voices all right.
I think so. It
should be
I
okay.
I can verify, but usually they're pretty good at.
Yeah, I heard my audio earlier and it sounded nice and clear. So this configuration is I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's got the 3 SRBs.
Like it doesn't.
I have full bars.
Doesn't no, it is now it's loading thumbnail.
Okay. So yeah, let's walk along and see the cluster of redstones. So that redstone rocket there, the one with the capsule on top with the red launch escape tower, it's got the stripes on top.
Yeah.
United States. They have one of those up in Concord, New Hampshire, at the Discovery Center. So we do have some rockets up in New England.
That's from one of the original programs.
So that's what launched Alan Shepard, the first American in space.
Wow.
And so they took a cluster of those left over and they used it to make this.
Are you serious?
No joke.
They literally just took their old engineering and.
Yeah.
on
Well,
top.
it wasn't that old. I forget if it was the first stage here. Yeah, it must have been the first stage had the, what was it, like the H something engines. I'm forgetting. It'll probably say here.
There's 30 signs all the way down.
And there are, let's see, 8 engines. Yeah, 8 engines on the bottom of the Saturn 1 and 1B.
Yeah, but they're small then.
They're smaller, but I guess it's 1 engine per fuel tank that they're pulling from, and that had these giant winglets for stability. Because that doesn't really look like the most aerodynamic. You have that little kind of spot where it comes back in, and air could get kind of caught there. Yeah, but they didn't, and it still worked. So they launched these before the Saturn V, the early, and also the later ones that were going to the space station in the early 70s. So the last one of these launched in 1975. That was the Apollo-Soyuz mission where they
Yeah,
had
I saw they docked.
an Apollo came up and a Soyuz came up and they docked together, and the Apollo spacecraft for that was also launched on one of these.
Is the capsule?
The capsule is all the way at the front. This is probably not a real capsule on the front of this one, but all the capsules did come back to Earth, and they're now in different
No way.
spots on display around the country. Yeah.
Think there are any legit capsules at this
Oh,
museum?
yeah, they must have at least a few. Yeah, this is that. Do you know that rocket? Do you know that one? Do you know the
Cancel him! Cancel him!
Do you know the capital of Alaska?
I'm gonna drown myself and maybe.
Fluid system for keeping the rocket blast under control.
You just times it by 1,000.
All right, well, let's see if we can get into here.
Yeah, I'm curious.
That.
Looks like we can get inside a capsule, maybe.
Oh yeah, here's a little Mercury capsule mock-up. Stay up in this one. I think some of them by the end of the program were up there for like over a day in that. Hopefully the cool. So that's the Mercury Redstone, could only do a suborbital up and back down. Then the Atlas was able to put it all the way into orbit. So they have it for a few days.
There's the Russian dudes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're hearing all sorts of languages here.
I don't have the brochure in Russian. Alright, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah, yeah. Strap in.
Don't be claustrophobic.
No way! Were people like much smaller? I lay down.
Yeah, you lay down on that.
Let's see here. We got controls.
Oh, wait, okay, hold on. Now I get it. Now I understand.
Yeah, you lay on your back
They
because
must have had like 6 packs.
think about it. You're taking the G forces this way. Yeah, to be able to just lift your arms up.
Stop.
Yeah, you need Arnold Schwarzenegger. Come on, get your ass to Mars.
Okay, how comfortable are you? Rating 1 out of 10, how good is this bed?
Oh, I could sleep here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, mine. We can show mine later. We can juxtapose.
yeah, yeah.
I think I could fall asleep here.
Could you do the homeless sim inside the capsule?
Yeah, the new homeless simulator. Oh my god.
All the switches.
A full human in that thing. Imagine being in there for like more than a day. Yeah.
The ocean, you gotta wait for an aircraft carrier to come pick you up.
That's probably why they had height limits for astronauts, probably.
Yeah.
Not worth the trouble.
All right, let's walk around here and get up on this ramp. The ramp to space.
I can't wait to see how they made those more comfortable.
Yeah, the
Dragon.
yeah, Dragon is SpaceX's capsule.
I'm sure those are like being in a Tesla.
I think modern stuff in
Visible, but I can see my my Discord notification did go through. I always check the now live, on my right. But yeah, that is something. Sometimes being in a metal building can interfere with it. It really just depends on if this can connect, because this is only going through this phone.
Your Wi-Fi hotspotting off that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll forward this right to your the general and the Game Lang,
You already gonna do
the
it?
Game Lang think tank.
I
Yeah.
was gonna wait to see if we have connection inside.
I'm gonna say live with Game Lang.
Once we have confirmation we're still live now, so. Yeah, there you go.
there has to be one.
Oh, that nice cool breeze feels pretty good.
You're gonna be listening.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah,
Live.
say.
That's in your general.
Yeah, tag everyone. I'll chime in too once. If there's
Yeah, I think the yeah, all these little signs here. There's a Mercury Redstone, the new kind of missile.
What made it so new?
I guess that it was carrying a human on top.
okay.
Because think about it, like before that, we had aircraft flying people around, but this is the first time we were like launching somebody vertically, right up out of the atmosphere.
Oh, it's like a show.
I think that's over. That's over on the other.
There.
Is this? Anakin, does this look like Starship with the stainless steel barrels?
We seem to do that because tennis building. It's the same descendants, it's downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one here, it's an old movie. But the way it is made.
There's another guy there with the engines on the early Alice. Instead of staging the whole tank, they would just drop 2 of the outer engines. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So they would just sustain it with the ones in the middle.
Isn't it like
These 2 parts that stick out the side, yeah, they would come right off.
Analyzing this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, speak for yourself now.
You don't want it to be for you? No?
I do.
Yeah?
And I've got 3.5 months to go. And I'm retiring to England.
Really? To England, why?
Early space program. I was there in Virginia, D.C. area. Of it, yep.
I wonder what it was like to be one of those first astronauts.
Familial desire of all pilots when you walk up to the airplane, you always kick the tires just to be sure they're not flat. This particular rocket I was never going to see again. So I just stopped as I approached it, looked up into the glare of the spot.
The POV getting strapped into the capsule. Go up to the top of the rocket.
We were on our own.
Yes, it's really a smoothie. Oh, you couldn't have the thrill down there that we have up here. Passing that economy. Much better.
We're regaining control of the spacecraft slowly in RCS Direct.
Command, we will prep for emergency landing at 7-3.
The space program was just starting, and when they put out their criteria for the type people they wanted, it was a factor. The Marines were being tossed in the toughest combat in early World War II and went back out in the Korean War. One people who had worked under stress and duress and
Still a couple more targets left. I'm taking another pass. Let's see if I can make it. Well, I think we're about to find out.
early triumphs in aviation. And one of them, of course, was Charles Lindbergh. They asked me if I would sort of escort Lindbergh down on the beach watching for the launch of Apollo 11. As I walk with my hero
Star Trek or
Star Wars.
or The Expanse or something.
No, the Expanse doesn't have like travel.
That doesn't. They don't have that
The
stuff.
Expanse.
It's a sci-fi series.
I mean, they have faster futuristic engines, but
They were saying they
no
named.
space.
Well, how many languages do you have there in that collection? I'd say everyone's got like different multiple.
This here, Mercury.
Like that cap,
This here, Mercury.
like that capsule gun, which gun, which is pre-disordered? No. Pre-disordered? No.
World War One, but
Because they wear the helmet.
we have a recreation of the Florida, and 4.5 for Earth. Yeah, Earth. Yeah. Most, OBS,
Nice.
so I can zoom.
All the astronauts did.
They gotta light up their celebrations. Okay. A selfie with this one here. Get the and then I'll get this photo here.
A picture of you taking a picture of yourself while streaming.
Ben, at least.
Leica, I know.
Yeah. One in
Enjoy it while I'm here.
5. The Hall of Fame. 95. Easier.
If not more.
Imagine being invited to a conference here. That'd be pretty.
You're very early on. I noticed a lot of these guys. You don't start being an astronaut until you're like 40. So
Yeah.
very early on in your. You said the Gateway one's your favorite. You want to see the bus to get to the.
Yeah, we'll do Gateway and then we'll head over and try to get on the bus.
Yeah, I see that. That's.
And there'll be an extra live stream the ride over there.
Or do you want to do the shuttle
I see.
too? Because that's still up.
Oh yeah, we'll come back from the bus and then we'll look at Atlantis. That'll be the finale.
Okay.
They go like in there an hour.
I'd say about, and that was like a lightweight one. So, why is it your favorite?
Just a lot of modern. Yeah. They have other things you can do, but you have to like pre-book it.
Yeah, that's a bummer, I guess.
Because a lot of people want to.
Maybe should have known. You got anyone saying what's good?
Yeah, I'm just checking on the chat. I don't see any
is it
messages
like
come through.
merge chat where you'll see Twitch and YouTube?
Yeah, on this screen it is. It brings them both together. But on this phone, on this other device screen, I can see YouTube chat individually and
I gotta add your selfie.
I think I know where.
Selfie of you.
yeah. So now we're back to live right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, that's all good.
I wish I would have known we were planning on streaming. I definitely would have maybe tried to take.
I'm cut out and
Study up.
well, I've already been taking the video clips like the vlog stuff, and I'll edit this clip. But wow, this is new. I think this is like a newly built building. And don't they have a Falcon 9 here that they just added recently? It's in here. Okay.
It's in this building, which is cool. Yeah, it's hooked up to the roof.
Okay. Yeah, Falcon 9 is like the current workhorse of the space program. Have launched. That's why they're still here.
Okay.
The one launching tonight is Atlas 5.
That's yours.
That's ULA. Come on, haven't you been studying this?
But that is Amazon.
No, I'm totally joking. Like this is so much to absorb.
All the way up. Civilian space figure. Like high or mid?
Okay.
Should have brought sunglasses. Go for the bus.
Yeah, let's head over there, and
I really want to.
I assume that this is all we need to get on that bus that goes to the Apollo Saturn V Center. But yeah, I was figuring we would go up there, and then we'd come back down here, because, you know, this is where you park, so we have to come back through here anyway.
I think we now just spend some time with Bush.
And okay, I have full connectivity once again out here, so it was just a building.
Yeah.
I'm glad my streaming setup is functioning when there's signal. You know, nothing I can do about that. But the microphone, this thing. It's kind of cool when you're connected to a Wi-Fi network. Just like take a screenshot on your phone saying like, "Yeah, I was here. I was connected to the Wi-Fi." That's the IMAX theater. Yeah, we have. There's Christina.
Christine Koch.
Christina Cook. Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yes. Oh. Representation.
There we go. Okay.
Italia. Do you know Japan in Japanese?
Is it like
Sverige.
the Helvetic?
Oh, that's
Confederation?
Latin. Confederatio Helvetica. That's goes back to the Celtic origins of that area.
What do they call them? The Helvets?
It's the Helvetic Confederation. Yeah, the Helveti are the original.
Helvetic font.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Actually, Helvetica is NASA's font they use on the shuttle. I guess so. We got a big spinning capsule right there. It's just a fun place. You know, they must have the Eastern Hemisphere somewhere.
Someone else.
So, Hixomus. Astronaut training experience. Tiles that are like put together
It's like accurate to the.
here and see what we have to do to get our like bus pass.
You know.
And then while we're waiting for the bus, then we can just check out some of the other stuff.
No, you have to wait in line, I think.
Oh, you have to wait in line.
See, that's what these people are.
There's the space shop.